Hamilton gave a blast to Mercedes. Yes, you heard it right. Hamilton passed a shockwave on social media. Are the rumors about Hamilton and Mercedes true? Is the Mercedes crew actually avoiding Lewis Hamilton? Will Hamilton leave Mercedes? Come, let's find out more about Mercedes and Hamilton. Lewis Hamilton is a famous driver who races in Formula One, which is the highest level of car racing in the world. He drives for a team called Mercedes, which has been very successful in the past few years. George Russell is another driver who also races for Mercedes, and he is Hamilton's teammate. In 2023, Hamilton and Russell had a very exciting and dramatic race in Singapore, which is a city in Asia. Singapore is known for its night race, which means that the drivers race under the lights and in the dark. The race was challenging because the track was very narrow and twisty, and there were many chances for crashes and mistakes. Hamilton started the race in the second position behind Max Verstappen from a team called Red Bull. Verstappen is Hamilton's main rival, and they have been fighting for the championship all year. Russell started the race in fourth position behind Carlos Sainz from a team called Ferrari. However, on the first lap of the race, Verstappen had a problem with his car, and he had to stop. This meant that Hamilton became the leader of the race, and Russell moved up to the third position. They were both very happy and hopeful that they could win the race for Mercedes. But things didn't go as planned for them. Hamilton had to deal with many challenges and difficulties during the race. He had to save his tires, which are the rubber parts of the car that touch the road. He also had to avoid crashing into other cars or walls. He also had to deal with some bad luck, such as when a safety car came out on the track. A safety car is a normal car that leads the drivers at a slow speed when there's a dangerous situation on the track. The safety car can change the order of the drivers and make them lose their advantage. Hamilton also had to face some strong competition from other drivers, especially Sainz and Lando Norris from a team called McLaren. Sainz and Norris were very fast, and they managed to overtake Hamilton at some points in the race. They also had better strategies than Hamilton, which means that they chose better times to change their tires or make other adjustments to their cars. Russell also had a very tough race. He was trying to catch up with Sainz and Norris, who were ahead of him. He was also trying to defend his position from other drivers who were behind him, such as Charles Leclerc from Ferrari and Sergio Perez from Red Bull. Russell was driving very well, and he showed a lot of skill and courage. He was very close to getting his first podium finish, which meant that he would finish in one of the top three positions. But on the last lap of the race, Russell made a big mistake. He hit the wall with his car, and he crashed out of the race. He was very angry and sad because he lost his chance to get his first podium finish. He also felt sorry for his team because he damaged his car, and he did not score any points for Mercedes. Hamilton also had a bad ending to his race. He finished in the third position, which means that he got on the podium, but not in the first or second position. He was very disappointed and frustrated because he lost his lead in the championship to Verstappen, who finished in the second position behind Sainz. Hamilton gave Mercedes a well-deserved podium finish in Singapore because he worked hard and fought well during the race. He also showed respect and loyalty to his team because he thanked them for their support and dedication. He also showed sympathy and solidarity with his teammate Russell because he hugged him and comforted him after his crash. But when Hamilton stood on the podium with Sainz and Norris, who won their first races in Formula One, the TV cameras focused on the Ferrari and McLaren crews, but not on Mercedes. This was because Ferrari and McLaren are two of the oldest and most famous teams in Formula One history, and they've not won a race for a long time. Their fans and supporters were very happy and excited to see them back on top again. The TV cameras did not focus on Mercedes because Mercedes has been winning too many races and championships in recent years. Their fans and supporters were used to seeing them on the podium all the time. Their rivals and critics were bored and tired of seeing them dominate Formula One. This was unfair and disrespectful to Mercedes because they deserved more recognition and appreciation for their achievements and efforts. They also deserved more support and encouragement for their challenges and difficulties. Hamilton felt this was injustice and disrespect from the TV cameras because he wanted to celebrate his podium finish with his team and his fans. He also wanted to share his emotions and feelings with the world. He also wanted to show his rivals and critics that he was still a strong and competitive driver. Hamilton did not let the TV cameras ruin his moment because he smiled and waved to the crowd. He also congratulated Sainz and Norris for their victories. He also thanked his team and his fans for their loyalty and love. Hamilton's podium finish in Singapore was more than just a result. It was a reward, a recognition, a respect, a celebration, a challenge, a message, an emotion, a feeling, an injustice, a disrespect, a smile, a wave, a congratulations, a thank you, and more. Hamilton gave Mercedes a well-deserved podium finish in Singapore. But when Hamilton stood on the podium with race winner Carlos Sainz and runner-up Lando Norris, the TV cameras focused on the Ferrari and McLaren crews, but not on Mercedes. Lewis Hamilton and Mercedes F1 are two of the most famous names in Formula One, which is the highest level of car racing in the world. Lewis Hamilton is a driver who races for Mercedes F1, which is a team that makes and manages the cars. Lewis Hamilton is one of the best drivers in Formula One history. He has won 7 world championships, which means that he has scored the most points in a season. He has also won 100 races, which means that he has crossed the finish line first in many races. He's very fast and skillful, and he can drive on different tracks and in different weather conditions. He's also very brave and competitive, and he always tries to win every race. Mercedes F1 is one of the best teams in Formula One history. They've won 8 Constructors' Championships, which means that they have made the fastest and most reliable cars in the season. They've also won many races, which means that they have helped their drivers to cross the finish line first in many races. They're very innovative and professional, and they can design and improve their cars with advanced technology and engineering. They're also very supportive and loyal, and they always work together as a team. Lewis Hamilton and Mercedes have been working together since 2013, and they have achieved a lot of success and glory. They've won 6 World Championships and 6 Constructors' Championships together, which means that they have dominated Formula One for many years. They have also won many fans and supporters around the world who admire their performance and personality. The Mercedes F1 team is a group of people who make and drive cars for a sport called Formula One, which is the highest level of car racing in the world. The Mercedes F1 team is very good at what they do, and they've won many trophies and awards. They have 2 drivers who race for them, Lewis Hamilton and George Russell. They also have many engineers, mechanics, designers, managers, and other staff who work behind the scenes to make their cars fast and reliable. The Mercedes F1 team is part of a bigger company called Mercedes-Benz, which makes and sells cars for normal people. Mercedes-Benz has been involved in Formula One since 1954, but they started their team in 2010. Since then, they have been very successful and dominant in Formula One. They've won the Constructors' Championship, which means that they have made the best cars in the season. They've also helped their drivers win 7 times the Drivers' Championship, which means that they have scored the most points in a season. Lewis Carl Davidson Hamilton is one of the most famous drivers in the world. Lewis Hamilton is a British F1 car racing driver. He's currently driving for Mercedes. He had won 7 World Drivers' Championship titles. Lewis Hamilton holds the records for the most wins at 103, podium finishes at 195, and pole positions at 104. Hamilton joined the McLaren Young Driver Program in 1998. One of the biggest contracts is with his current team, Mercedes, in 2015. This contract was a 3-year deal for $140 million, and it is one of the highest paid contracts in F1 history. From his contract with Mercedes, Lewis Hamilton's annual salary is $57 million, and his net worth is about $440 million. Now we know what happened in the Singapore F1. Lewis Hamilton and Mercedes are one team, and for sure there are no problems between them. Hamilton is surely the best driver for Mercedes as well in F1. Comment your thoughts on this, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.